and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave. Ow!
Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Hello.
Welcome to the Seth Williams Show with Chris Akin. It is a Wednesday afternoon. How you feeling today, my friend?
Wonderful. Not great.
Well, that's one of the things we're going to get into today. We'll talk about it in a little bit. I think I know why you're not feeling good.
All right. Well,
So,
enlighten me. 'Cause
I will in a little bit. Because I sent you a video. We got to go through some of that.
Sure.
I've been texting back and forth with the Flat Earth guy for the past 20 minutes or so.
Okay.
So, I wish he could join the show today to talk, but apparently he cannot. It was a little bit short notice for everybody, but I wish
Does
I
he
had
think
one.
today's the day?
No, but there's a lot to get into when it comes to what
Okay.
him and I are talking about.
Sure.
But in case people are new to the show, the Flat Earth guy does believe the Earth is flat, and to be honest with you, I have a lot of I back him up a little bit on some of this stuff. It really does seem to be something that I could get behind and believe when you see the amount of proof that he has.
Sure.
So this is like the week from hell for me. Like I am battling sadness, depression, anger, and fear, all kind of different things.
Why?
And that's just Facebook. Yeah.
I was going to
Because
say, I think it's been a pretty quiet week news-wise.
No, it has not. You don't understand. Like, I really have been battling on Facebook. I'll get into that too shortly. But this week is my daughter's graduation, man.
Right.
So on Friday, she officially graduates from high school, like gets the diploma and all that stuff. I'm hoping that it's signed and stuff. I mean, like, when I had my graduation, I was such like a dumb bastard when it came to like school that I literally had detention my entire senior year because I had cut so many days in my junior year. And so I was lucky that they didn't just kick me out altogether. And so the punishment, instead of kicking me out of St. Ignatius High School, was to give me detention for my entire senior year. So I couldn't leave when the bell rang. I had to stay every single day.
Oh, that sucks.
And then I had to set up the graduation too. Like we had our graduation at John Carroll. And I had to set up all the chairs for all the people that were going to be at the graduation.
Right.
And so it took forever today, and it was 912 degrees outside. And my fat butt almost melted to death out there. And so when I was walking across the stage to get my diploma, I talked to the president, principal, and everyone. And I was like, "Is it actually signed? Because I'm not leaving the stage unless
Right.
the diploma was signed. I did everything you told me to do. And I said, don't worry, it's fine. I got to know them very well from staying after school every day. I mean, I came in the morning and had to go to the office immediately, and they had donuts waiting for me. I mean, it was really, I should blame them for missing my leg, to be honest.
It's the school's fault. You got to
Yes,
sue them.
I should sue them because they bought me donuts. That's how well they knew me every day. But yeah, she gets her diploma, and then I think it's like just under 3 months then before she's out for good.
Right.
And she leaves the house, and I am and my wife, we are officially empty nesters.
Sounds like a good thing, man.
It does not to me, dude. You don't understand. Like, yeah, I understand everybody. You know, as kids, you have your kids, and you've gone through all this stuff, but for me, I was always the one that was kind of home there with my daughter. Like, we kind of have our own special little bond kind of thing.
Right.
You know, she was my buddy, not just my daughter. I mean, we
Sure.
played video games together for 18 years. I mean, and you know, we were at Burger King every morning. The girls at Burger King got to know us by name.
Right.
Because we were there so often hanging out and saying hi to them. And, you know, they dropped 50 nuggets as soon as I walked. Like, I was the Norm Peterson of Burger King. Seth, drop 50. I mean, that was how it was when I walked into but I was always with her. We go see movies together. We do all this, you know, all the fun stuff. I take her to Memphis Kiddie Park. It was always just kind of me and her hangout time because either my wife was working, whatever.
Right.
And so we just had that a little bit more closeness.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I think about like Saturday mornings while my wife is at work now and my daughter takes off when she's going to be in college, and I'm going to be sitting here by myself going, well, what am I going to do with my life? No.
Right.
Like there's going to be a void, like an emptiness that I'm going to miss. You know, at night, my wife likes to sit on the couch, play on her phone, play her games, and look at social media, whatever.
Sure.
Me and my daughter kind of sitting in the living room, talking and hanging out and watching some TV together, and you know, all that's going to be gone. You know, I'm going to miss the little things and saying, "Hey, honey, what do you want for dinner tonight?" and picking it up for her or whatever, making her dinner. And
man, you are really turning this into a thing.
What do you mean? Well, it's gone. All of that's gone.
Yeah, but dude, this is such minor stuff. It'll fill with new stuff. It'll fill with new stuff. You'll find new ways.
I don't see how. I really don't.
Of course you don't, because it hasn't happened yet.
But what? What am I going to?
What do you think? Do you think I was a ghost to my kids up until graduation, and then, you know, you figure it out. You'll develop a different relationship with your kid.
Can we be honest here, though, Chris? I mean,
I'll be as honest as you want.
Don't take this the wrong way.
Yeah.
You're a dick, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you don't seem to be like as emotional as I am. I shouldn't say dick. That's not the right word. You're not as emotional as I am. You're a little bit more callous, I guess the word. Not a dick. You're a little bit more. I don't think. To me, I don't see that feeling side of.
I do
Chris
have
going,
it.
"Oh
I
my
do
God,
have that. I mean, I definitely have been accused on occasion of you know, being overly emotional, if you can believe that. And that's a true statement. Ask John Drake. He's seen me. You know, he's seen me be a mess. But with this kind of stuff, I don't spend my day looking at the negative, looking at why everything is bad. I look at the situation as like this situation you're going through right now. When my kids went through it, I looked at it as a total positive.
Well, I do look at
man, they're going to do this and that, and we're going to have a different relationship, and I'm not going to have to be, you know, coddling this one anymore or that one anymore. You know, I could treat them like adults, and you know, that's kind of how I treated it going into it. And I did. I developed, quite honestly, I have a much better relationship with all three of my kids than I did when they were actual kids.
Oh boy, it's another Seth worries about little stuff. It's not little, dude. Maybe you don't have kids, Scooby, whatever. It's not little when your kid leaves forever. I mean, look, I do understand that it's an important thing for her to do, and she needs to go start her life, and you know, that's important. I'm looking forward to that. I think she's a smart kid, funny kid. She's a pretty girl, and I think she'll make friends. I think she'll have a good time, and I know she'll succeed. But for me, it's over 18 years of something that I really enjoyed now all of a sudden gone. That's not a little thing. That's a big thing. 18 years of your life gone is a big thing. Screw
It's
you,
not
screw me.
gone. It isn't gone. It's just changing. It's just
But I mean,
changing. It's not gone. She's not dying.
When you're emotional,
She's just moving.
when you were emotional with John Drake, and you said, "Oh yeah, you see it." Was it alcohol-induced emotion?
Some yes, some no. A lot of it was when my dad was dying, and I was going through my divorce and everything else. But I was a mess.
I can see that.
I was a total
I'm not
mess.
I'm not trying to complain. I'm just saying it's something that you don't look at your life and go, well, that's going to happen, and I'm looking forward to that.
No, but what I'm saying is you're making it bad by making it bad before it happens. Dude, if I sit here and tell myself all day long my dinner's going to be shit, and I'm just throwing some little minor thing.
Right.
But if I tell myself all day long, man, my dinner's going to be shit, I guarantee you I'm not going to take that first bite of that meal and go, man, this is wonderful. This is the best goddamn meal I've ever had. No, I'm going to be like, time to eat this shitty meal. And then maybe I'll like it, or maybe I won't. But the odds are more likely that I won't, because I've already convinced myself that it's bad.
I understand. I'm setting myself up for failure. I get that. But that's not what I'm trying to do. It's just when I think about it, it just is like, oh my God, now it's going to be me and wife. So, I mean, there's good things to that. I mean, now we have, some alone time, and we also have, some party time maybe that we can get back, and, stuff that hopefully we can enjoy.
Dude, this might be, I'll just devil's advocate you here for a second.
Yeah.
This might be the very best thing to happen to your family ever.
Well,
You might develop this crazy great relationship with Molly. Molly might meet and marry the dude that is like simpatico with you in every single way, that you actually love as if he was your own son. You could find that this could be better, not worse. Or maybe when she's home, you guys will have so much more fun because you both miss the time. So you go out of your way to have better time.
Tom and Scooby both. I am looking forward to new opportunities and stuff like that. I try to look at the bright side of stuff, but I'm just saying there's a lot of stuff that I'm absolutely going to miss. And I talked to a buddy of mine, Chris, who I went to high school with, and we were texting a little bit last night because his daughter is actually going to University of Cincinnati, where my daughter's going. And he sent me like a dorm room checklist and stuff like that. And I said, I'm struggling a little bit trying to be emotionally prepared for what's going to happen. I mean, it's not like we have like 5 kids, dude. I mean, it's been a 3-piece band in this house for forever. We've gone through some pretty heavy shit, man. With losing a leg and all this kind of stuff. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's going on.
Sure.
And so, it's going to be a different thing altogether. And I understand there's going to be good times. But he said, even when he was texting me, look, it was the hardest thing and the toughest day of my life. But, you see your daughter grow, and you get through it. Mm-hmm. So, I know that's the way it's going to be. But can't you be a little bit sad about stuff every now and then?
Well, yeah, you can.
What am I supposed to do?
Being a little bit,
yeah, right, it's gone.
No, but being a little bit and being like, this is the toughest week of my life. There's 2 differences there, man.
Well, I mean, it's a little bit different because we've gone through a lot of stuff around this place. And, her actually graduating, I mean, there was a time where we were like, oh my God, we don't know what's going to happen with this girl. With all the emotional stuff that she went through, watching her dad almost die and all that kind of crap. And,
and what, you don't think my kids went through that?
I'm sure they did. I mean, that's why I think you should be able to relate.
I do relate. That's what I'm saying is the thing I relate most to, though, is that, man, we've been on the air now 15 minutes. You haven't said one positive thing that you're looking forward to.
I did too. I just
what?
Said, maybe we'll get some party time back and some different things with my wife that we haven't had for a long time because of having a kid all the time in the house. And it's not like we've ever lived in until recently. I mean, this is a fairly good sized house, but until we got this place, it was like her bedroom backed into our bedroom. Right. It's tough to do a whole lot of stuff in the house like that.
Yeah. Now you got to start targeting rooms to bang in that you haven't banged in before.
Every room.
There you go. So there you go. There's a positive.
Just think in 5 to 8 years, we will be a grandpa too. Dude, if I'm a grandpa, I'm going to kill somebody. Thought about that too. Well, the girl
Yeah?
went to prom over the weekend was this guy, right? I mean, I'm sure he seemed like a nice kid,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
Shook my hand when he came up to the door.
Sure.
And actually, she had a bag with stuff, and she went to go grab it. He's like, no, I got it for you, and like picked up her bag and opened all the doors for her and everything. I'm like, hey, look at this fine young man. And yet I remember what it was like to be
Of
that
course.
fine young man at 18 years old, and like I don't want to think about anything other. Like I when I started thinking, I was like, no, I'm going to slap this kid. He's being nice for one reason only.
Yeah, he's totally going, I got to make this guy happy so that I can go fuck his daughter.
I was like, I mean, come on, man. Like, I'm not stupid. I know what I did on prom night. I know what I did when I was 16 years old.
Dude, not to change directions too much, but
Yeah.
why was their prom so close to graduation?
Yeah, they did that.
That's weird.
The prom has always been like Memorial Day weekend or whatever.
Like
'Cause
1
last
week
year-
away? That's
Yeah,
just
last
kinda odd.
year, Memorial Day weekend, she had a prom, and then the next day we went out to Pinball PA and checked out that dude singing.
Yeah.
But so yeah, it's always been. I don't know why they do it. I thought it was kind of crazy too.
It just seems like you're forcing people to come out of their pocket a lot of money before they got to come out of their pocket a lot of money.
Speaking of Tom, she was out at the Weymouth Country Club for the prom itself, and it was very nice out there.
Nice.
She wasn't a fan of the asparagus.
Takes after you.
That takes after me. Well, she actually eats that shit though.
Right.
But again, nice kid. But these are all things that, dude, being a parent, you go through this stuff. It's all new to you, and you only experience it one time before it's gone. And that goes with being a dad or proms or whatever it is, going off to college and all that kind of stuff. And like again, you've gone through it. What's one of the biggest fears is what's she gonna do when I'm gone? Like I'm not gonna be able to just call her every day, whenever I feel like, and she's gonna answer the phone and go, "Yeah, Dad, what's up?" It's gonna be. I mean, she could be doing anything. She could be smoking a freaking bowl, sitting in her dorm room with some dude, and she's not gonna answer the phone for me, and I'm gonna start worrying about that.
Might be like the porn girls that's actually talking to you while she's holding the phone and sucking his cock. You don't know.
Right. Okay, we could stop that right there.
Oh, you don't want to hear that?
Or I'm going to be scrolling through OnlyFans and go, Molly? What the hell are you doing? We're going to go to the University of Cincinnati girls site. Oh, shit, dude. What the hell?
This is the #1 porn school in America. And look, it's Molly's dorm.
I get sick to my stomach thinking about that kind of crap.
Well,
Especially, I have to,
she's
when she
gonna do
leaves the
what she's
house,
gonna
I tell her, when she leaves the house, I say, remember, don't do anything that I would do. Anything you could possibly think of that I would do, don't think about it. Don't do it.
Yeah, you just have to kind of... And it's easy to say. It's much harder to do. I'm not trying to say this to be condescending, like you're just being a kid or something. I mean, it's easy to give advice. It's easy to give the advice when you've been through it, but you just got to kind of adjust your expectation to grown up Molly. What you got to do somehow, and it ain't today, but it's over the course of the next year. You have to adapt your thinking. See, you still have in your mind that this is your kid, and now it's not. As of Saturday, she's not your kid anymore. As of Saturday, she's a grown-up that's going to do grown-up shit and make grown-up mistakes. So instead of making a mistake of not doing homework, it's going to be making the mistake of not using a condom or something like that. It's like to the craziest other degree. What you have to do as the parent is trust that you did right by her to teach her the right thing so that she does the most things correctly.
Here's the problem.
And keep in contact. Keep yourself in in a good relationship, a good adult relationship with your kid.
We're going to get to politics and some other stuff in just
Sure.
a minute, but I want to say one of the things that was really wrong with everything that you just said is that you talk about having an adult relationship with her. Well, I haven't grown up yet.
Yeah, I get that.
So I am still like that 18-year-old kid that picked
guess
her up
what?
from prom.
Now might be the time you have to.
Well, no, I don't want to because I want to go back to party and having a good time.
Well, you can, but with your kid's not want to. I can promise you this, and if I get nothing else right on this, I guarantee this is correct. Your kid does not want to have a relationship with her childish dad.
Wow.
That I promise you.
Well, that sucks.
That will be the quickest way to not have a relationship with your kid, is if your kid cannot come to you with real adult shit and you be able to give real adult advice.
Steph, what are you going to do when you hear a guy's voice in the background while I'm talking to her? I'm going to drive to Cincinnati. What the hell do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to keep her on the phone, on my cell phone, while I drive for 3.5 hours down to Cincinnati. And it'll probably take me 2.5 because I'll be going really fast. And I'll be knocking at the dorm room door. But like for instance, she's a great kid. So, like, I was out the other day with my wife. We were doing some stuff, making some money, whatever. And I come home. My entire Star Wars collection is in a display in my bedroom that she put together with all the lights and all this kind of stuff, lightsabers everywhere, and it looks badass. She did a great job. I go into my office, and my Superman collection is all over the table, and everything's all set up nice and neat. This is her father, who she just cleaned the room for and put Superman collection and a Star Wars collection up. I'm a dick. I'm a loser, all right? I'm like a 15-year-old kid trapped in a 48-year-old's body. And every joint hurts. I'm missing a fucking leg, but yet I'm staring at literally a Superman figure bust staring at my face right now.
But why is she doing that? Do you know?
Because she cares.
Because she's also having the fucking empty nester anxiety too. She's hanging on to it herself. Y'all are. That's normal. I'm not trying to tell you you're not being normal here. What I'm trying to tell you is don't convince yourself that it's going to be horrible. That's all I'm saying.
Well,
because it's not. It's going to be a new and exciting time, and in most people's cases, a better time. Most adults like their kids a lot more when they're adults too.
I already asked my wife if we could have another one.
Oh, stop that.
She said,
"What's wrong
no.
with you?" Yeah.
She told me no.
Yeah, dude, come on.
Seth, normal? No, I'm not. What do you want from me?
Is your wife freaking out? Habu asked the question. I'm curious about that.
Yeah, she is. She is. But again, I think their relationship is a little bit more mother-daughter.
Mm-hmm. Which is actually worse.
But, I mean, like, she's the one, my poor wife, is the one who always catches the shit if my daughter wants to get a little lippy or whatever. And I'm the one that doesn't. I mean, it's just, it's different. It's not bad.
Oh, it's definitely different. Dude, mothers and daughters, that's a fucking tough relationship there. Ooh.
But for me, it's always been fairly easy talking to her and hanging out with her and doing our thing. And, I enjoy having conversations with her and listening to her and but whatever. Again, sorry, I'm not trying to bitch, dude. I'm just trying to,
No, I get it.
Things are going to change, and it's changing like now. So why can't I talk about it?
No,
Speaking of which, the graduation party is Saturday at the big barn over here in McIntosh Farms. Anybody wants to stop by? You have your invitation.
Seth is worried tremendously. He's going to be taking home 300 pounds of food.
1 to 4. I'm not necessarily worried about the food. Not really. I'm not concerned about that at all. But whatever. It is what it is. I'm looking forward to vacation. I want to get through this week, and my dad's in town now too.
Okay.
I don't know if he's listening or not today.
Does that got you stressed out?
It does. It really does. Because I feel like, again, he could be listening, but I don't know, whatever. It is what it is. I'm sure he's heard me say this stuff before. I worry that they come over to the house and they're going to do like a white glove test and like check everything to make sure that everything is.
Bro, you're like 50.
I know.
You don't have to answer to your dad.
Oh, I mean, yeah, you do. And it stresses me out. And so, you want everything to just go well and go smooth. And then we got some graduation on Friday, and they send you down to like the State Theater, Playoff Square, man. And the parking down there kind of suck balls. It's supposed to rain. And then I got to, why in the world did I have to have the last name Williams? Now I got to sit through 435,000 other kids before they get to my daughter's last name. She couldn't have been like Anderson. I couldn't be like an Anderson guy. And then like we could leave like 10 minutes after they start calling names up.
You know what though, dude? As an A last name, I can tell you, you can't just leave
What?
because you can't get your kid.
I got the handicap excuse. I'm out the door, dude.
No, but your kid can't leave.
Well, it's not my problem. Somebody else can take her home. As long as I start graduating, I got the pictures I can put on social media, and I'm good. Plus,
Yeah,
the new Karate Kid movie comes out, man. I told my wife, can't you just go? She doesn't even know that I'm there. Take some pictures, send them to me, and I'll have them put on Facebook.
Dude, if you don't go to that, you know how fucking mental you will be for the next 10 years? You, of all people? The guy that's tweaking because your daughter's leaving for college? If you didn't see the signature moment of her life up to this point?
Again, I'm going to get it on pictures, right? I mean, Karate Kids.
Yeah, that don't mean nothing. I've got videos of my boys graduating.
Of course, I'm going to
I
go.
haven't watched them 2 times.
I mean, I'm going to go. Of course, I'm going to be there. I just, you know how boring those things are, man. You get these kids up that think they're smart and they're going to give speeches and stuff. And what you should be able to just walk through the door, sit down, and just start parading these kids out on stage, hand them a diploma, and get out the door.
Yeah. I don't disagree with you either. I hated graduation day, but
hell, give them refreshments as they're walking onto the stage. If they got like coffee and donuts or whatever, hand a donut to the kid, hand a piece of a pop or something, grab the diploma, and then go to your parents and leave.
Yeah, just leave. Nobody wants to stay for all that stuff.
I mean, the party's fine. I mean, we'll have friends over and family over and whatever.
Right.
Everything else is all.
I mean,
mine sucked.
It's a lot of ceremony and stuff, dude. A lot of ceremony that nobody really wants to deal with either.
I kind of agree with having like a nice ceremony when you graduate college because you don't have to go to college. College is a choice. You got to put the work in. Dude, you have to go to high school. The law says you got to go to high school.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Graduating is a big thing. I mean, you kind of had to.
Yeah. You really didn't have a whole lot of choice there. It's either do that or quit school and go work at fucking McDonald's from the time you were 15 on.
Right.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Dude, the funniest thing when my kids graduated, I think it was my son Zach. I don't remember exactly if it was Zach or Mike. One of them went out the wrong door on the graduation. Like they were supposed to walk across the stage and then come down, and then there was like a door right there, but they were supposed to weed back around and go back to their seats. And then after, I guess the principal makes some final statement or some shit, and then they throw the hats and whatever. One did it, like, because they were back to back. One did it. One didn't. One walked out, did it, made the turn, went back to his seat. The other one right out the door and gone. It's fucking funny. I just remember Georgetta was so mad. She was like, "Where's he going? Where's he going?" And then she's like, "You got to go get him." I was like, "I'm not going to get him. I don't know this place."
Trying to get tickets for this event was a nightmare.
Oh, I'll bet. Yeah, would they have the 2-ticket limit or whatever?
Eight ticket limit. And so every time I get on the computer, right? So I try to, my computer sucks to begin with, but I get on the computer to like try to get these tickets, right? 3 o'clock is when they send out the link, and I'm like there at 2:59, man. I click on the link as soon as it gets to my email, and it says you're up next. 1 minute wait time.
Right.
Like, all right, sweet. And it says your turn. So all of a sudden, this map pulls up on State Theater, and I start clicking one by one, 8 seats, right?
Yeah.
I get to my 8, and it says, sorry, these tickets are no longer available.
Right.
And then I go to another 8. These tickets are no longer available. I swear to God, I'm not lying to you. I was doing this for a half hour and could not get tickets. And finally, it says all the lower section seats are gone. You got to move upstairs. I'm like, get the hell out of here. And so I go up there, and again, I get the 5, and then the other ones won't light up. Those are all gone already. I was like, what the hell do I got to do? So finally, I just called State Theater and said, look, I'm a handicapped guy. I got one leg. I can't make it upstairs. I really need to get lower seats at this place. Can you please help me?
Yeah.
And the lady goes, hang on, sir. And she found me 6 seats in one row, 2 seats in the row in front of that. And I said, perfect, thank you. And she got them for me. And we were done.
Nice.
But it's crazy, man. It took over a half hour of me trying to get tickets, and then I had to call because I couldn't get them online.
You should have called. See, that should be There's your learning experience for you for everything that you do, man. You know, everything you do should be like, I'm handicapped. Help me.
Joe Burdick. How are you, my friend? Don't forget you were invited to the party on Saturday as well. Want to stop by? Everybody's invited. John Drake. Come on out, John Drake. You can come out to the party.
Don't invite John. Then I'm not coming.
Empty nesting sucks, but I had to remind myself the kids were in college, not prison.
Yeah, I mean, that's all it is.
Go waving the Crip card again every fucking week with this guy. Hell yeah, man. I'm going to take advantage of this shit forever. I'm a cripple, and I am proud of it.
Yeah, might as well. It's not like you shouldn't get some benefit out of it.
John,
you already took the bad of it. You gave up a leg. You might as well get some of the perks.
John didn't even respond to my my comment on his Facebook page, which I thought was hysterical. He said he was looking for like a plumber because his drain is all clogged up. Here's a real man. He can't even figure out how to unclog a drain. And so he was asking for people to give plumber names. I said, why don't you just shove your shitty brown season tickets down the drain? Anything would run from those. And he didn't even respond to my comment.
It's probably what plugged up his drains. Fucking $10,000 season tickets.
But it's not nice to not reply to people's Facebook stuff, John. But feel free to come out on Saturday. Big Red Barn, McIntosh Farms. Call Chris.
Call me.
And when Chris doesn't want to come out, you can bring him a sandwich.
Yeah, there you go. I expect a gourmet meal.
Yeah.
If I'm coming out to this graduation, I expect a steak or something.
Right. Yeah, I don't know how to. Yeah, I've used my grill one time in 3 years that I've owned.
Oh, don't just have the steak ready. I'll show you how to cook it.
They have a snake, but it isn't strong enough. We need pros. What the hell are you putting down your drain, dude?
Yeah, what is he putting down his drain?
Pubes everywhere.
Pubes?
Clog it up his drain, dude. It's weird. Why are you shaving in the shower, dude? It's weird.
Well, knowing Johnny's shaving in the bathtub and watching it float to the top. Ooh, look at the little cloud.
Will there be enough cake? Yes, I've rectified that problem. I had to order 2 cupcake cakes from Giant Eagle.
How many toes will you be losing off the 1 foot from eating the cake?
Dude, I'm going for all 4 limbs.
Oh, you're gonna eat a lot of bad stuff?
I'm more worried about everybody else. I'm gonna sit there and say hi to people. Actually, I'm probably gonna leave and just gonna sit at the house and watch some TV. Let everybody. Those things are so awkward, man. Because you got half the room doesn't know each other.
Yeah.
It's like family members that are gonna be there, and then friends or whatever, and then her friends, and who do you talk to? Everybody just sits by themselves, their own little cliques or whatever.
Dude, I'm planning on coming and sitting by myself most of the time because the only people I know is you and your wife.
Jake is going to come.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I've met Jake, but I don't know Jake really. You know.
I
mean, I've run into some people that me and you both know that I'm sure are going to be there, but I don't know them.
Joe Burdick from Burdick Custom Flags will be there.
Well, holy shit, I'll bring my checkbook so I can get a flag. I mean, I don't know Joe. Not saying Joe's a bad guy, and not saying I wouldn't sit around. I know how it's going to be for me being there. You're the guy that does the show with Seth, right? That's how it's going to be. That is going to be what I'm going to hear.
Well, most likely I'm going to be sitting with you, dude. Who am I gonna
probably.
Sit with? I'm going to be sitting with you, Joe, Jake, and then, that's about it, man. Oh, Jim and Sandy, his friends are coming.
John has
crickets in his drain.
Yeah, there was enough of them that could still be clogging stuff up. That's for sure. We're not doing a clean show today, in case you didn't figure that out.
Not today.
I'm glad to see that you're so astute that you picked up on that, though.
Way to go. Good job.
Great work.
So, anyways, that's what I got going on this week. Looking forward to being over because I got vacation coming up in like 3 weeks. And I may not come back from Tennessee. I may just stay down there. And I'll just do the show from there. I'll find a library with a computer and webcam, and I'll do it from there.
Perfect. Do it from your phone. Hey, what's up?
Well, it would probably be better internet service from the mountains of Tennessee than when I get here.
Probably.
So, another thing that happened over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk a little bit politics and stuff. It was the 5-year anniversary of George Floyd.
Oh.
According
Thoughts and prayers.
According to Channel 3, it's, quote,
Yes.
5-year anniversary of the murder of George Floyd. Now,
5-year anniversary of getting his first sober chip.
So you have to watch the movie. I don't know if you watched it, but we've talked about it before. The Fall of Minneapolis.
I did watch it. Mm-hmm.
And if you go to thefallofminneapolis.com is where you can find it. It's free to watch. Costs you nothing. And you got to check it out. I thought about doing one of those, you do those Fright Night, whatever
Fright
shows.
Night watch along thing. Sure.
I thought about doing that with that sometime because it's really, really eye-opening. And what happened in that case was the actual crime.
Oh, yeah.
Because what they did was suppress evidence. They wouldn't let the jury see certain things because they didn't want the country to break into one big riot again.
Mm-hmm.
And so they did it on purpose. They withheld evidence. If you watch this movie, you see everything. You
Sure.
see him actually eating the drugs in the back of the police cars. They're trying to drag as he's trying to get out.
Right.
I mean, he was a career criminal who held a gun to a pregnant woman's stomach. And I saw people on Channel 3's Facebook post celebrating him on Memorial Day.
Well,
When we're supposed to be celebrating the men that died for this country.
like George Floyd.
I mean,
He gave it all for his country.
It literally made me sick to my stomach. And I of course, got called a racist and a pig and everything else. And but really, if you haven't seen The Fall of Minneapolis, it's just follow thefallofminneapolis.com. You can watch it for free and see the fact of the case. Watch it.
Well, not that you were a big fan anyway, but did you happen to see that the WNBA had a moment of silence for George Floyd for their
I didn't see it, but I heard about it.
Yes, of course they did.
I'm glad the NBA didn't do that.
Well, that we know of. Which one of us watches the NBA enough to know?
Right.
But, dude,
How could you celebrate that guy? How could anybody celebrate that guy?
he's black. He's black, and as a black man, you have to celebrate that the white man killed him, man!
Sometimes you have to look past race and you have to look at the facts.
No, never.
He was a career criminal who was high, who ate fentanyl while they were trying to arrest him.
Stop trying to put facts in the way of creating racist hate.
If you look at the original autopsy report from the medical examiner,
Yeah.
it says that it was an overdose death.
Mm-hmm.
And then they told him to change it. And it was changed. But the original medical examiner's report said overdose.
Yeah.
Is why he died.
Well, no reason to let Chauvin out of jail for that.
Well, that's the other thing, is that rumor has it that Donald Trump may pardon him. What do you think happens to this country if Donald Trump decides to pardon Derek Chauvin?
Give us warning so I can make sure both of my guns are clean. Please.
I may need to borrow one from somebody. It's going to turn ugly, and it's going to turn ugly quick.
Yeah. Please make sure that we get a little warning so I can make sure my weaponry is ready. All the bullets are nice and ready and shiny so that they'll come out the chamber quickly.
I mean, you do believe that this country would riot beyond belief.
Oh my God, yes.
Like
Are you kidding?
every city, every blue city especially, would be
yeah.
on fire.
Mm-hmm. If Trump wants to do this, I'm okay with it, but do it in January. I hate to make Chauvin sit for another 6 months or whatever, but let's do it when it is freezing fucking cold outside.
You think the thugs won't come out in the snow?
I think they're less likely to be in the streets burning shit when it's fucking 20 below zero. I do, at least in some places. And the places that would get burned down, like California, whatever. But at least Donald Trump, I mean, he's not pardoning as of yet Chauvin. But thank God he's letting the Chrisleys out of jail.
I saw that.
Jesus Christ.
Don't you love
Look,
Trump, dude? Come on.
I don't love that move. And I'm going to be honest about this. I am a person that watched that Chrisley show. I'll tell you my history with that real fast, which is going to make you laugh. We had somebody that called into the CMS one night, talked about how great that show was. I ripped their goddamn face off. I was like, how can you watch that faggot and his beard wife? I mean, I really ripped his head off, right? Then I started watching the show and I couldn't stop. I literally couldn't stop. And it wasn't just because the daughter's hot.
Right.
It was like I got really into that dumb show, and it's awful. If you ever watch it, it's a bad show.
I have not watched it.
It is bad, fake reality 101. It's a terrible show. But I got totally hooked in. I watched every episode of every season. But Trump, dude, here, and it's not only Trump, but I'm mad at Trump about this. Stop letting people out of jail that committed crimes. If you want to pardon them because they didn't do it and they're in jail, or I don't know, they had 3 joints and they're doing 15 years or something, cool with me to pardon that. The Chrisleys did rip banks off of like $30 million. And just because you don't like bankers doesn't make that legal.
Well, who else would you not have let out?
I don't know. I don't know who else he's let out yet, but
The J6 people.
J6, I'm
Look, how can you put those guys? How can you put J6ers in jail, and yet every
I
fucking
agree.
thug that burned down cities across the country?
the question
they don't go to
I have
prison.
about but I'm not going to do apples to donuts here. I'm going to do apples to apples. If the J6 people did something like, and I don't even think this was a crime more than funny, but lectern guy that stole the lectern from the speaker's office or whatever.
The guy that was let in by the
Yes,
police? Yeah.
but he did do something that he knew was a crime.
But he also was let in by the
I
cops.
understand that, but
They
you
led
know
him
what?
to the
If
office.
you're let into Walmart every day, doesn't mean you can take a TV with you.
No, but if you were escorted in by police and they're watching
But
you,
they
I mean,
didn't say, here, take this fucking thing and walk out with it.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. I'm saying that guy committed a legitimate crime.
Okay, so what
I
is-
have a
what is the-
difference. I see a difference between him and the guys that just happen to be there.
So what is the
Walking
sentence
around.
for a guy that takes a lectern out of a?
Whatever
an office?
whatever the sentence would be for any minor theft.
Certainly not.
Certainly
How long
not
did you say?
years. Certainly not
Years in
years. I mean,
prison?
what would the crime be if you, I don't know, stole a car from a parking lot?
How about sentencing the
6
guy
months?
Yeah, well, how about sentencing the guy who shot the unarmed
Well,
Trump supporter in the face?
That I think
life.
should be a life sentence. I just don't think I mean the J6 is, I think Trump didn't do himself any service by just broad brushing it. I
agree.
think he should have, instead of just saying J6, anybody with a J6 conviction pardoned, I think he should have looked at each individual thing and he would have ended up pardoning most of them anyway.
We're going through 1,200 cases. I mean, we can't get people that are here illegally shipped out. You're gonna go
Yeah,
through
but
1,200
that's
cases?
but that's unfortunate. You can't say, well, since it's difficult, then I can't follow the law. You can't say that either.
I mean, you had Biden pardoning people that supposedly didn't even do anything wrong.
Which everybody and their brother knows was a cover up and was criminal. You can't you're not wanting to justify what Trump does based on what Biden did, do you?
No, but I mean, you do have to at some point compare things. And I got my shit ripped on Facebook by somebody that was defending Mike Chisalka of all people.
Oh, look at that.
And saying why
Was his name Mike C?
Yeah.
From
Why
Slap
do you ask-
Happies?
Why do you answer all posts with another question? It's like, because you can compare. One president gets away with something, another president doesn't. So that is able. You are able to compare stuff. I mean, Mike. Yeah, and I always have to qualify what I say about Mike Sissoko because I love him as a person.
Sure.
He was there for me when I was in the hospital, brought me iced tea, hung out with me, and we started to do a podcast together. Didn't work out, whatever. But he is so fucking outrageous with his message towards people, and then what he posts online. I mean, he's sitting there posting, "This happened in Kansas City yesterday," and I don't even know what it was. It was a bunch of dudes wearing white masks, and he said it was a Klan rally. I don't know what it was or what it wasn't. I have no idea. It's just a picture he posted.
Right.
You probably see it on his site, or the WNIR site, which is a nightmare. But he and I said, "Well, you're okay. You're not okay with that, but you're okay with Hamas sympathizers taking over universities throughout our country, not letting Jewish people go to classes, beating them up, and harassing them."
Mm-hmm.
Well, he has nothing to say to it, and everybody else. Well, why don't you answer the question about the KKK? Well, you can't. Want free speech with one and then not allow another.
Right.
But if you say that, then I'm a hate person. I'm a racist.
Well, yeah. I mean, dude.
How about this? I want both of them shut down.
That's where I'm at. Biden, every one of Biden's pardons should be overturned. And quite frankly, anybody that's just getting blind pardons like this should be overturned. I think the Chrisleys should do their time. And I like the show. I don't have hate. I got no hate for those people or quite honestly, even what they did, except for it's illegal. The fact that I don't know a president, though, shouldn't mean that if I commit a crime that I have to do more time than somebody that because they were on TV on the USA Network gets a fucking pass.
There's the two women. If you ever get bored,
Yeah.
You might not want to do it because you might just get angry or you might laugh at it because all you're going to do is see my comments all over the fucking place.
Okay.
If you go to the WNIR Facebook page, WNIR,
Yeah.
Akron, whatever, it's a talk station down there. And, man, I can't resist but commenting on some of these people's stuff. There's a guy named Bob White. There's a guy named Scott, something or other. And then there's these two women. And they're crazy people. Like there's one, her name is Reagan, and then there's another one named Dawn. Now, I won't give out their last names, whatever. But, my God, dude, if I had to be married to either one of these two women for like 35 seconds, I'd shoot myself in the face. Like, it might be the most annoying duo of chicks that I've ever heard speak in my entire life. Like, and I've been married twice now, dude.
No.
I mean,
They're leftists?
Yeah, leftists.
Yeah.
They're one giant, like NASCAR track, turning left every freaking 10 seconds.
Dude, I'm of the belief that TDS hits women 50,000 times harder than dudes.
Oh, they have it like, I'm telling you, no. Well, yes, with these two, but also with a few different people on the WNIR thing. I called one guy out the other day, this Bob White guy, because he's just nonstop, like every single day. It's just nonstop bashing Trump. And I said, you haven't called out the fact that it's now been proven, and even some of the left-wing media is coming out and saying that Biden wasn't in charge. There were people signing the auto pen to orders, and it wasn't him.
Mm-hmm.
There were aides that came out and said, hey, look, we would have taken a guy in a coma over Donald Trump, and we would have run the country. Now, I hate to say it, that's not the way the founding fathers wanted things to work. It's kind of you elect somebody, and he is the president, and is supposed to be in charge. These people are coming out and saying they wanted to put him in a wheelchair. He couldn't do anything. Not forget about the cancer and dementia. He was useless.
Yeah, he's just a dude. But
the family knew it. Everybody in the White House knew it. The media knew it, and they all covered it up.
They all cover that up. Look, I'm not left leaning or right leaning, or I guess I'm right leaning. I have more conservative values than I do Dem values, I guess. But every time I see these people, I can't get past the lying. That's my biggest reason that I can't deal with left leaning people. I can't deal with the lie. Like, did you see this video? I'm going to pull something up for you. Did you see this video of Kira Sedgwick, Kevin Bacon's wife?
Oh.
You haven't seen this?
I've not. No. John's
She-
reading the Tapper book.
She goes on blast of Donald Trump, but wait till you hear why. It's fine if you hate Donald Trump, but everything that she believes here, just lies. It's not like it could be or it's being insinuated or anything. She's believing lies and she's spreading the lies.
Right. Well, that's what they do.
Yeah. Listen to this. I actually laughed at this. It was so fucking amusing because she's literally talking about that Donald Trump's out there trying to take the vote from women. She says that. Listen to this. It's only like a minute.
How you doing? I felt like it was important to get on the blower
Did you?
and talk a little bit about
Yes.
how I'm feeling and wondering how you're feeling about
There's only really one blower she needs to get on. It's called her knees.
There you go.
All right, here we go.
the state of our union. I'm finding myself pretty scared about a lot of things, scared about losing my rights as a woman,
See?
scared about losing my right to vote as a woman, scared about losing autonomy over my body as a woman, scared of my parents' Social Security checks, scared of food banks running out of food and not being able to replenish because they're no longer getting federal funding. Yes.
All right, let's stop there.
All right, let's stop there for a minute because there's a couple things we need to hit. Women losing their right to vote is not happening. Nobody has lost anything.
Nobody has ever even mentioned that.
Never. Donald Trump has never mentioned it. Nobody's ever mentioned it. I don't understand. I mean, my wife was able to vote in this past election, and you know what? And you're going to be able to vote in every upcoming election. Losing autonomy over body, I mean, whatever, if you believe in it. If you believe in killing babies, fine. There's nothing I can do to stop you.
And again, it's still only regulated to the state, which is where it should be. It should
Well,
not be
where
a
it should
federal
be.
mandate.
I mean, personally, I think it should be a federal mandate because killing babies is something that I don't agree with. But I guess that's the way it's going to be. It's with the states. And nothing makes me more angry than hearing some of these women that don't have children saying it's okay to kill babies. Go fuck yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And then, what did she say at the end there?
The food bank's running out of money.
So, you know what? The Cleveland Food Bank just came out with something. Maybe it might have been a couple of months ago, and Cleveland.com wrote about it. They were talking about the food banks are going to be out of stock because of Donald Trump and because of his policies.
Mm-hmm.
And, the Cleveland Food Bank actually put a fucking post out there saying that was going to happen, that there were actually trucks turned away and the food was rotting in these trucks.
Yeah, and it was live.
And so, you know what? We called them out. Me and Bob and I think Bernie Moreno was on it too. I'll call them out and said, what are you talking about? And they had to put a retraction out. Of course, when you put a retraction out, nobody sees it.
Mm-hmm.
What happened is the COVID money that was going into all these places expired.
Yeah.
And the state didn't renew it because COVID is over.
Well, and
Well,
correct
we'll
me
get
if
to
I'm
that
wrong.
shortly, but-
Correct me if I'm wrong on this, but isn't aren't programs like food banks and stuff supposed to be funded and run by the community?
Well, there's federal.
They're community programs, not federal. Community. There's a reason that's one of the main reasons, the only reasons that the fucking churches don't have to pay taxes.
But there are state funds that go into these food banks.
Well, there are, but what I'm saying is if there are hunger issues, people are supposed to be able to go to a church. That's why the churches don't pay taxes.
And so
Because they're supposedly of the community and for the community.
what she's saying right now is a blatant lie.
All of
And
it.
After we did this and did the story and everything else, we tried to reach out to Cleveland.com, but they're a bunch of pussies over there.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably the worst magazine and newspaper on the face of the planet.
Right.
But I mean, the Dispatch is pretty bad too, and Toledo Blaze might be even worse. But they're all bad around here. But they put out a retraction saying, we want to address the rumors that there's not going to be food. Well, that's not true. Well, also, there is no reports of any trucks with food rotting on it. Well, then why'd you put it out there that it was? Because you're trying to attack Donald Trump.
Yeah. And of course that retraction ran on page 11F
Right.
of the next day's Plain Dealer, right?
That nobody's ever going to see.
Right.
She's a crazy person and she's lying to people. But you know what? There are stupid people that follow celebrities. They're like, oh my God, she's right. Oh my God, we're not going to have any food to feed the homeless. One, get a fucking job. Two, the food is there. If you are a family that needs it, it's there for you. That's a lie.
How much food do you think Kira and Kevin Bacon should be providing for their community?
How about this? Open the doors to all the immigrants and let them in your house too.
Or even just the homeless people.
Absolutely.
Come out of your gated community, show up at a food kitchen, not with a camera crew so that you can get the "oh poor me, look at how great I am" moment. Why don't you just show up at the food kitchen, serve some fucking slop for 8 hours, and then go home? No, because just like you're doing now, you're only doing it to try and get any kind of pop you can for your fucking dead career. Sorry, Kira. When's the last time you were mentioned even to play a role? Maybe you could start getting those roles that Helen Mirren isn't getting anymore, you fucking old twat. Shut up.
Instead of 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon, it should be called 7 degrees of stupidity. Absolutely.
Yes.
But she's just blatantly lying.
She's just lying.
I
don't think she's stupid. I think she's purposely lying.
Yes.
Oh, you want more of this?
Let's hear the rest of her lies.
All right, here we go.
The federal government can use improvement, and there's a lot of things that they've done right over the decades. So I think the
lots of
answer
it.
to
Would you like to address that? All the things that the U.S. government has done right over the decades?
How about you old bitch? How about you explain who was in charge for the past 4 years?
Yeah, how about
'Cause
that?
It wasn't Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Explain, Rachel Levine, the fucking admiral in charge. What is she in charge of, like health and human services?
Health.
She might have been the
Health
most
czar.
unhealthy person on the face of the planet, mentally and physically.
A fat retard that was the mental health czar.
Oh my God, dude.
Brilliant. All right, Granny, what else you got?
being freaked out for me is about community. And I feel excited that we're coming together as a nation on Saturday. You can look it up in your area. It's Hands Off March. And, you know, I'm just going to go and hear what I hear and feel less alone in the world. Because I feel like that's really important. So if you're worried about anything that's going on in the world, like I would suggest...
I'm worried that you're not in a mental home.
Yeah, me too.
That's what I'm worried about. I'm worried that you're allowed to walk the streets, you fucking psycho old bitch.
Was that Bailey from WKRP? That's good. Take this girl off the screen. She's so sexy, I can't take it anymore.
Would you rather me put Rosie O'Donnell up?
Oh my God, there's a pig.
She's out there talking bad about the country too, and about losing the right to vote and the right
She
to.
left though. She's gone. She's not
Yeah,
here.
but still, she's still worried about it.
Get the hell out of here.
She's still worried about it in Ireland.
You know what? Donald Trump should put an executive order out not allowing her back into the country. She should be considered an illegal alien.
Deported.
Deport the hell out of that bitch.
Oh, you want the last 10 seconds of this?
I guess she's not saying much, but
there we go.
That you might want to get out there and have your body counted and your voice heard. And we'll probably learn a lot and help each other just by being together.
Yeah, sure you will.
So everybody's lost their mind, but so we have another half hour left. I want to get into something else real quick. Can we take a quick break? Is that all right?
It's your show. I'm just on it.
Wait a second. That's our show, and we will be right back in about a minute because I want to get into the COVID thing. There's been some developments, so
cool.
We will be right back on the Seth Williams Show with Chris Akin. Hang on.
When disaster strikes, we come together. Here at Mario's Barbershop, we've turned our passion into purpose. As Hands to America, a 501c3 nonprofit, we're on the ground helping those hit by hurricanes, floods, fires, and tornadoes, right here in northeastern Ohio and nationwide. But we can't do it alone. We need your help to keep this vital work going. Your donations, whether it's cash or vehicles, can bring hope to those who've lost so much. Join us in making a real impact. Every donation fuels relief efforts and helps rebuild lives. Call us at 844-864-2637 or locally at 216-520-1977 or visit us at handstoamerica.org to see how you can help.
Right back here on the Seth Williams Show with Chris Akin. And enough of that craziness. Now more craziness.
Now, in other crazy news,
You said you have not been feeling well today.
yes, I have not.
The past few days.
I haven't. I don't know what I've got, like the flu or something. And
No, you don't. Chris.
I don't?
You do not.
Okay, what do I have?
You now officially have. Oh, no, it's gone. The new COVID virus.
Shut up.
No, it's new. No, it's gone. But you have the, I can't remember what it's called, but it's like all kind of letters, numbers,
Oh, let's see.
and that's what you have.
I do not have COVID. Stop it.
We do. It's a new strain.
I'm tired of I'm tired of their bullshit. COVID variant NB 1.8.1.
Yes.
Fuck off.
That's what you have.
No, I
You know
don't.
why you have that? You know why we have a new virus now? Because they just came out with a report.
That everything's
yesterday?
looking good.
No, that the vaccine does not work.
Oh, good.
That the vaccine actually didn't work. And the fact that they've now cleared children and healthy kids and pregnant women, they said don't take it.
Oh, well, that's safe.
And there's a report that I think I sent to you that I was talking with the flat Earth guy before the show about.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a video, right?
Yeah, it's a video. It's still going. I think it's live
It's
still.
live.
Yeah, it's live.
I mean, the numbers that are coming out are staggering of the amount of people that have been killed by taking this vaccine.
Yeah, I heard something about my friend Eric hit me up today with an email that said 60 people in Pittsburgh were proven dead from the Myrna virus or whatever.
The mRNA.
Yeah.
We talked to the Dr. Robert Malone the other day. He's the creator of the mRNA technology.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, that's why this is not actually a vaccine. It's not. It's
Right.
A vaccine is, by definition, is a virus, like a dead form of the virus or weakened form of the virus that they create into a vaccine. This is technology that actually changes your DNA, has spike proteins, and can kill you.
Sure.
And the reports are now coming out that they knew, Biden and the administration knew that this, quote, vaccine could cause myocarditis, inflammation around the heart, and could kill you if you took it. Now, I know a couple of people, after taking the shot, dead.
Yeah.
They weren't dead because of COVID. They were dead because, I would assume, after they took the shot is when they started getting sick and they died.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know what it takes to prove it.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough proof. Yeah,
But these people have lied to us, and Joe Biden and that administration has blood on their hands. And look, I will be the first one to say Donald Trump put the stupid warp speed crap thing out and said, here's the vaccine. Everybody love it. Look what I did for you.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't mandate people to take it. Joe Biden mandated people to take it. He got on TV and made people feel bad. He got on TV and said, we are losing our patience with you, people that haven't taken it. You are hurting other people by not taking this vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
No, they were killing people and they knew it.
Yeah.
What's this guy saying? Can we check it out or no?
We can turn it on here.
Locked your residents up and did not allow them to go grocery. President of the United States issued an executive order, which was ruled unconstitutional, by the way, that said that if you worked for a company with 100 employees, because not 99, 100, that you would be fired.
That's Bernie
if you
Moreno.
did not prove you didn't have a COVID vaccine negative test or got vaccinated. Why would we have some decision like that? How depraved do you have to be to do that? Answer the question the way you feel.
Oh, I got to hear
down the
this
line.
answer.
To start with you, Mr. Call, Dr.
Briefly. My testimony on this issue went all the way to the Supreme Court that overturned 4 out of the 5 Biden mandates. They were scientifically ungrounded. They were sociologically deranged, and they caused great harm. To this day, people are in court trying to get their jobs back and trying to put their lives together because of these disastrous policies.
And just to be clear, sorry, Chairman, nurses were included in that, correct? Healthcare workers. The ranking member called them heroes. It seems to me that when you have a hero, you don't terminate their ability to make money and have them fired because they're making a personal choice. Because he ultimately, and I'll end with this, ultimately, this is what this is all about. See, I get to get a choice if I'm going to get vaccinated. And if it doesn't stop the spread, it is none of any other human being in this country's business what I did or did not do. Would you agree quickly?
100%. And I think Director Walensky, when she said of the science of hope, that is not science. Science is facts. Hope is not science.
Damn, they're laying it down.
Well, one of those guys is Dr. Peter McCullough, who I've talked to, we've had on Bob's show and stuff. He absolutely has done research upon research upon research about people dying from this vaccine.
Yeah.
That was Senator Bernie Moreno right there.
Mm-hmm.
Our own senator.
Our own guy.
He's right. And they are coming forward now, and we are finding out some of the truth that actually happened with this junk. And they tried to kill people, or they just were trying to do we're going to, attempt to lock people down, keep them in their homes, and see how much we can control this population.
Dude, I went through it, and again, I'm not trying to make this about me, but I refused to close. Like we closed like everybody else. Pinball PA I'm talking about. We closed like everybody else did at first. And then when they started with all those goddamn zones and whatever, I was just like, I'm done with this. But I did the work. I made the calls. I called the master, what's his name? Master Antonio or whatever his name is, that was one of the senators from Pennsylvania.
Right.
I called him and I talked to him and I talked to the state police about if my guys were going to get arrested. And, and I asked him point blank, are my guys going to get arrested if I leave the doors open? And they were like, yeah, we're not coming to arrest anybody. But
they did in other spots. I mean,
they did in other spots, and that's why I had to call and ask the question.
Well, there were gyms that tried to stay open, and people were locked up.
Mm-hmm. And I wasn't afraid to go to jail for myself, but I wasn't going to get my guys arrested, but I did. I made the choice to stay open. And dude, let me tell you about the unmerciless social media beating that we got. Everything was, you're going to kill people just so that you can keep getting rich. Keep getting rich. I'm going to kill people because I'm going to keep getting rich. And they were calling my place the Coronacade and the murder spot in Pittsburgh. The murder spot in Pittsburgh.
That's it. Dude, I remember when I was on with Triv and we were talking about this, and Triv decided he was going to take the vaccine because his doctor or whoever, I have my doubts, but somebody told him to take it. And I said, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I refused. And sure as shit, I've never seen his audience turn on him like that ever.
They didn't like it, huh?
And they did not like the fact that he was going to do it. And I remember arguing with him numerous times on the air about it and saying, why would you do this? It's not been proven. This is not anything that's been tested. Why would you put something in you that you don't know what it's going to do to you?
Yeah. No, I agree.
And people turned, and then, unfortunately he's gone, but they were going to fire me at the radio station
for not taking the
vaccine.
Yeah.
And then finally it came out. They said, no, all right, we're not going to. They lifted that mandate of having to fire people with over 100 employees. And so I didn't get let go because of that.
Right.
Got let go because of bails afterwards. But, yeah. I mean, I was close to getting fired because of not taking that vaccine. I remember I was in the hospital getting my leg taken off. And they said, we're going to give you a COVID vaccine. I was like, the hell you are. I was like, you are not giving me that shot. And I remember one of the doctors or nurses, I should say, nurses that I had that was helping me with my leg and stuff. And he said, dude, you don't understand how close that was. He's like, we know that shit does not work. And they were like, do not take it. It was like, we've seen people that are coming up here that are real sick after taking that shot.
Yeah.
And he said, and on top of that, they're getting sick not only with something that we don't know what it is, but people are coming through with COVID and they got the shot. It didn't do anything. It didn't do anything.
No, it didn't do
It
nothing.
doesn't help you. It doesn't lessen the symptoms. It doesn't do anything that it said it was going to do.
Nothing.
By the way, this show will not be on YouTube. But they lied, and now it's coming out that they really lied. Like they super duper lied. I mean, do you realize the scandals that are going on from this last administration that is getting almost zero mainstream media press?
Well, the media is not going to cover it.
They're not covering the fact that they lied about COVID and the vaccine. They're not giving the press to the fact that, well, some of them were coming out. Jake Tapper came out with his book, but who was running the country?
Huh?
It wasn't Joe Biden. The media is not even looking into this. Why aren't they talking? This is a bigger scandal than Watergate.
I think so
You
too.
come up with a bigger scandal in the history of our country than a president that was so sick with dementia and cancer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we thought it was a joke. He was shitting his pants when he was out on stage. He was.
Yeah.
Because he's sick. When he froze on stage numerous times, they said those are cheap fakes. Those are Republicans making videos that aren't true. It's AI. No, it was true. And now they're coming out with that actually happened. And can you think of a bigger scandal in the history of our country?
No, there's not one.
JFK getting shot?
The only one potentially, and it probably would have been a lot different if it happened now. I mean, the two are 9/11 and Pearl Harbor.
But I don't think Pearl Harbor was that a presidential scandal.
Yeah, well, it is
It should
now.
have been attacked, but I mean.
But there's lots of proof that they knew it was coming and they let it happen so that they could go into the war.
Okay, well, I mean, that would.
There's that. I mean, there is. Again, that's more of a Reddit thing than it is a mainstream thing. But again, the mainstream media doesn't cover anything.
I mean, 9/11.
9/11. There's a lot of people that think. I mean, I was just watching. There's a pretty good new.
We can make rumors about stuff all day long and say this could have happened. 9/11. Oh, it was George Bush. He blew up the buildings himself. I mean, but we can prove this. We can prove the fact that the vaccine didn't work. They were forcing you to take it.
True.
People are dying from it. We can prove the fact that Joe Biden was not in charge.
Right.
He was an auto pen was signing orders from God only knows who. Whether it was Jill, whether it was somebody in Congress or Senate, or whether it was aides that just wanted to take over. I mean, you don't know who is signing stuff.
Right. Oh, yeah.
We did not have a president for the past 4 years.
No, we did not. No, I agree with you.
So I don't know what's a bigger scandal. Afghanistan. Joe Biden's been involved in a lot of scandals. I mean, 13 people died because of what Joe Biden did with Afghanistan.
I agree.
Then the guy's checking his fucking watch while he's sitting at a ceremony for the dead.
Yeah, well, he didn't want to be there. He knew he killed him. He didn't need to see it again.
I mean, this guy has been involved in some of the biggest. The guy blackmailed Ukraine with his son. No wonder he's giving him billions and billions of our dollars.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't. And then you get people like Reagan and Dawn on WNIR site who are sitting there saying how bad Donald Trump is and Joe Biden was the greatest thing since sliced bread.
And we need another president like him.
Well, we need him so that the women can continue to vote.
We need him. We need him so diaper companies don't go out of business.
That's right.
Look, I feel bad for the guy. I don't wish death on anybody, and I hope that illness affects
everybody, left side, right side, everybody.
And so I hate to see anybody get sick, especially with cancer. It's a horrible disease. I know people personally that have it or had it, and it's terrible. So I don't wish that on anybody. But when it comes down to being the president of the freaking United States, man, somebody had to be in charge, and it wasn't him.
Yeah.
And who was it? I want to know who was in charge the past 4 years. Was it Obama? Was it Big Mike?
It's probably a little of all of the above. It's probably George Soros.
George Soros? Who is signing these orders? Who is making them up? Who is telling people what to do? Who came up? Biden's not smart enough to come up with the Green New
deal scam.
I think it might be Cankles. Might have had some involvement as well.
She might have too. I mean, it seemed like they had a committee of people that were running this country, and it wasn't the guy that was supposedly elected. And now you have to look at that and go, wait a second. All right. Hey, this guy was really elected. This guy.
Well, I never thought that he was elected.
I know, but I mean, now you look at all the votes that changed overnight, and Pennsylvania all of a sudden flipped, and this happened, and that happened. As soon as the polls were closed, and there were boards over windows you couldn't see it, and strange boxes appearing overnight, and
trucks rolling in at 3 a.m.
All of a sudden, like 300,000 votes came in. Not one of them for Donald Trump. They were all for Joe Biden.
Well, yeah.
It just kind of happens that way.
There's a big groundswell.
I think maybe you got to start looking at that and go, I wonder if this committee of people that were going to run the fucking country for the next 4 years had anything to do with this kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bad deal, man.
I mean, I think one of the aides came out and said, yeah, we were hoping we were going to try to help him win, knowing that he could not run the country.
Great.
And that we would be doing it. I mean, they're coming out of the woodwork now saying that this whole thing has been a scam and the media was involved and all because they hate Donald Trump.
Yeah.
You know what's sad? There are some messed up people out there, and I know some, that would actually say, good. I wish they would have succeeded.
Oh, yeah. I know that's true.
We had a shadow government for 4 years, over 4 years. And there are people out there going, oh, that's fine. As long as Donald Trump lost. They tried to kill him twice.
Yeah. Allegedly. Let's not get into any legal.
I have to say, allegedly, somebody shot at his face.
Yeah, but you're saying that the Dems did, or the people in government.
Allegedly,
you can't point an exact finger at any.
I could post all I want on Facebook. I can't say it here.
No, and you could actually be charged on Facebook for saying it too.
Allegedly,
as a public figure.
Allegedly tried to kill him.
There you go. See, was that so hard? Doesn't mean you have to mean that it's alleged. It just means you have to say it.
Allegedly, we had Tweedledee and Tweedledum running a fucking country for the past 4 years.
Yes. See, isn't that better? Now you're protected.
Allegedly, everything I said is true.
It's the same reason I put on all the videos that everything said on any of these shows is just the opinions. It's not meant to be a fact.
Allegedly, the vaccine is killing people. Jesus, dude. They're having hearings on it.
Yeah, they are. Doesn't mean anything.
It's proof.
Well, it's not proof. It's just hearings. There's never been a lie told in a hearing, right?
Well, I mean, there are doctors out there.
Well, I agree. Believe me, dude, I'm on your side with this. I mean, I literally while we've been talking about this, I looked it up and I actually saved the phone call with the police when I called the state police to make sure that I wouldn't get arrested or that my guys wouldn't get arrested for fucking for staying open. It was a big concern. It was real concern.
I can imagine.
You know, want to hear it? I'll play it. I don't care.
First is making Trump a demon. Dems loved him until he went against his friends, the Clintons. Well, that's true.
Yes.
I mean, all those people hung out with him. All those celebrities, all these politicians, they loved him, especially when he was giving them money.
Oh, yeah.
And then all of a
that's
sudden,
why they loved him.
He runs against him, and now he's the devil, and he's Hitler.
Mm-hmm. He's the worst ever.
I said that to Chisunka the other day on Facebook. I mean, the guy's calling Trump Hitler. And I said, well, wait a second. You call Trump Hitler, yet you're okay with the people that hate the Jews going to our universities.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you understand? You make no sense. Just keep bringing people together. It's so crazy anymore. Yeah, I want to hear the call.
All right, here, I can pull this up. I haven't even screened it, so God knows what I say in it, but I hope I don't say anything that I shouldn't. Let's see. Present, share. If I do, I'll kill it quickly, but
allegedly. This
allegedly. Yeah. No, this is a real call.
County Dispatch.
Yeah, I had a question about businesses opening this weekend. I own a business, and I don't know that we would fall within the yellow guideline. I'm trying to find out what would happen if I open anyway.
Where's it at?
Aliquid in the Hopewell Shopping Center.
Let me see if the state police can help you. Hang on.
State police?
Yeah, hang on.
All right.
What a crazy time, man.
I know that I had to...
Beaver P. Crawford.
Yeah, hi. I own a small business, and we're planning on opening this weekend, and I'm not sure that we would fall within the yellow, and I'm trying to find out what happens if we decide to open anyway.
What kind of business is it?
It's an arcade.
Ew.
Hello.
Where's the business located?
Aliquippa.
You know, I'm not exactly sure what businesses can and can't open.
Okay.
We haven't gotten a list. I don't know if you want to call the Department of Labor. They might be able to help you.
No, I want to call you.
Yeah, call the police.
You know, I'm not going to tell you that you can't open.
Okay, I mean, assuming that we're not in yellow, do I inevitably get arrested if I open? Or?
No, we're not arresting anybody for that, for opening up. The most you're going to get right now is a warning.
Okay.
If that. I mean, we're pretty laxed here.
Okay.
With stuff.
Sure.
You know, now if you do open and you're not supposed to be open, you know, if there's groups larger than 25, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, you're not practicing social distancing, and you know, there's some other little guidelines and stuff. I mean, you could get cited. You know,
Okay.
the business itself could get cited
Sure.
for not following those protocols.
Sure.
But yeah, I would call the Department of Labor to see
Okay.
if you qualify under that.
Okay.
I think you probably should, but
Should
you know,
call
again,
the department
I'm
or
not sure.
should open?
Both.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, you got to make a living too. You
Right.
know?
Exactly. Look, can I ask you one question about the
Yeah.
gatherings of 25? Is that within the building, or is there a distance for gathering? Because I mean, we have
think that's it within the building. I'm not sure. You know, we don't get all the information right away. We usually get it after the fact
Okay.
for some reason. But I know you're not supposed to have groups larger than 25, but I don't know if that's on the property or in the building.
Okay. Okay.
17. So, yeah, give them a call and see what they tell you.
Okay, we'll do. Thank you for
Okay.
your help.
Yep.
All right. Bye. So there you go.
Man.
What a fucking time, right? I had to call the state police to ask if I was allowed to open without being arrested.
Brian, you're so right, man. What country we become?
Yes.
And I mean, I truly believe, now watch, I'll get COVID and die. But I truly believe that they were just testing us, dude. I mean, I really.
Oh, I do too.
I think COVID wasn't real.
I
you
had
got
it, so
sick.
I know it was real. Yeah.
And I got it too, and it sucked.
Mhm.
And I didn't feel good for a while. And there were times, dude, I still went outside and smoked, and then I was out of breath on my way back to my bed. But they shouldn't have locked the country down.
No.
They
Thank
hurt
God.
More, they hurt more than they helped.
Think about this, dude. And I do think about this as one of the rabble rousers that just said fuck you and did it anyway. Think about what would have happened if nobody fought the authority. I think we'd still be locked down.
It might. We very well might.
I think the only reason we opened up was because there were people, and I don't want to say like me, but there were definitely people that just were like, we're done with this.
I'm not going to do it anymore.
I'm not doing it. I'm not making people wear masks. I'm not going to hire extra people to clean up every 10 feet in my building all day long. You know, I'm just not going to do it. If we didn't have those people, like the guy that stood up in the gym or whatever and got shut down and lost his ass. If we didn't have those people, we'd still be in it. I truly believe. And dude, there was too few of them. Like, you know, I see Drake in here commenting on this. He could tell you there was one time me, him, his wife, and his son, Dominic, we were all getting together for dinner. This is during COVID. We were getting together right here in Twinsburg at the place called The Basement. It's right
Yeah, I
down the
know
road
that.
from me.
Yeah,
You know where
yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
You know, we went there. We were meeting there. They were already there when I got there. I come in. Of course, I was not wearing a mask. And as I come in, they had a person at the door to tell me to put a mask on. And I told the person at the door, I was like, fuck you. I'm not putting a mask on. Fuck off. He even tried to hand me a mask. I was like, nah, I'm not going to wear it. And I didn't. And I walked in, and John, of course, was like, you always got to be a fucking problem, don't you? And I was like, yes, I do. On this kind of nonsense, I'm not playing this game. I'm not playing this game where once I sit down, now I'm magically
Now you're
safe.
Yeah.
But if I stand up, I better fucking mask up because the air a foot over my head is dirty. Get the fuck out of here with this shit.
The rules were so crazy. I mean, like,
Just
I walk in-
dumb.
like I had to work every day, so I had to drive to work every single day. And I needed gas, and I'd stop at the gas station most mornings and get something to drink and stuff before I go in. And there's people just standing in the gas station all around, and they had like their masks on, but around like their chin. They weren't doing it. They didn't have it on their face, and they're just standing around drinking coffee, talking. They weren't standing 10 feet apart. They have all these stupid arrows on the ground, like that's going to tell people where to go.
Right.
Then it was like the strangest thing. You go to a grocery store, and they had all the lanes, like the aisles going in one direction, and you go up another direction, and down another direction. Well, wait a second. You can all go down the same aisle together, standing next to each other, as long as you didn't go the opposite direction. I mean,
Right.
they have these fucked up rules that made no sense at all. Even Dr. Fauci comes out and says the mask didn't work and the 10 feet thing was just whatever. They just kind of made
It's
something
just
up.
bullshit, right?
They lied to us.
Yeah, it was
You know,
all
there's-
nonsense.
You know what's sad though is that there's people generally on the left, because most of the right was like, "Fuck this, I'm not doing this. I'm grabbing my gun and I'm waiting for you to try to come in my house." But the people on the left are like, "Oh my god, dude, you're gonna kill people if you don't wear that mask.
Mhm.
You're gonna get other people sick if you don't take that vaccine."
Yeah.
Even though
I get accused of it all the time, because I would not do it.
People are still getting sick with the vaccine. Yet these idiots still didn't get it. They didn't understand. They didn't understand the vaccine wasn't working.
Yeah, it didn't do
anything
nothing.
to stop anything.
No. It didn't do anything. It was just it was a joke. It was nonsense.
I mean, I have close people in my family that got the damn vaccine against my wishes, and both of them got sick, ended up getting me sick.
Yeah. Yeah, it was that whole time. I'm glad it's done. They could try and put any other thing. I hate it if there ever is a real thing, because none of us are going to believe them now.
Well, now there's a new strain of COVID.
Yeah,
So
and
be
straight
ready.
up, nobody believes you, and nobody's going to fucking take any precaution over it.
Well, they supposedly
You
said
tried and lost.
it's mainly over in the Mediterranean area, but it could get over here. So watch
Yeah,
out.
eat a dick. We're not wearing masks again. We're not going to be controlled again. Fuck you.
I mean, they said it came from a fucking pangolin or some weird shit.
Yeah,
Fucking
well,
animal.
that's kind of, doesn't that sound familiar? Or China bat?
Yeah, but I sat there and like I watched these videos before it happened. I remember telling Triv, I was like watching YouTube videos because they kept popping up
Sure.
of the Chinese locking their people inside their homes. I mean, they were literally welding doors shut and windows
Yeah.
shut, putting bars on stuff, not letting people out of their homes. I was like, dude, man, we got something going on here. This is not good. And he's like, oh, there's China. I was like, okay.
All right, yeah, it'll
A
stay
month later, we were all, oh.
Yeah, because nobody travels from China to America. That never happens.
I might be the only one that wasn't bothered by it because I had to go to work every day. I didn't like going out to eat. I could get my to-go food, my liquor, and how great is this country? There's an outbreak of people dying of some virus across the country. People are just falling over dead everywhere, and you can't go to somebody's funeral, but you can go to the liquor store because we
course.
are Americans.
Damn right. In fact, they'll bring it to you now.
Absolutely,
DoorDash it.
America.
Love it.
I couldn't go to we had a funeral for my poor grandmother. God rest her soul. I miss her dearly. But it was right at the beginning of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
We couldn't allow people in. We couldn't even get into the doors when we got there. We had to call people to unlock the doors to let us in.
Crazy.
And there was like 15 of us that were allowed to go in for this funeral. And we could do that with 15 people and nobody else is allowed to come. But on my way home, I was able to pick up a fucking big bottle of vodka and some beer
Right.
and enjoy the rest of my night. America.
America.
All right.
I want to see what John has to say. Oh, John's talking to Brian. People are just discussing whatever. It is time to head over to Mines.
It is Mines time. I don't know how
Quick.
funny Mines is today, but I have one really funny. I'm going to lead off Mines. So anybody that is subscribed to Mines, get over there now. Mines.com/Seth Williams Show. If you're not signed up for Mines, do so right now. You got 3 minutes because I'm leading with this thing, and it's really, I promise you, it's really fucking funny. Funny as anything we've done recently, which, as you know, has been real fun. Last week's,
dude,
by
if
the
you
way,
didn't sign up for Mines and you missed last week, screw you. Because
that
you missed
was
one hell
great.
of an after show. Yeah.
Dude, how great was that? You know, for everybody that doesn't remember, last Wednesday we had Ari Lehman, the original Jason Voorhees, on the regular show. Then we go over to Mines, and Ari gives us the real dirt on what was going on at the filming of Friday the 13th. All the sex and drugs, and that was a great conversation.
And by the way, he was having a little fun himself during that conversation too. So
Yes.
Sign up and check it out.
And he actually wants to, just one last thing.
Yeah.
He wants to do the watch along of Friday the 13th with our fans.
That would be awesome.
And wants to turn it into a drinking game.
But you're going to have to sign up for Mines to check that out.
Yeah, we're not doing that for free. That is a
No.
Mines only exclusive.
That'll
Getting
cost
drunk with Jason Voorhees
Yeah, while watching the original Friday.
while
the
watching
13th.
and getting commentary from the actual Jason.
Well, he was on set throughout the entire movie, so
Yes.
you don't want to miss that. We'll let you know when that's going to happen.
And the drug use and stuff that he was telling us about.
Oh my
Holy
God.
smokes. And the fucking.
Oh yeah. Sign up for Mines and check it out. All right, time to head over there right now. Enjoy the rest of your week, everybody. Have a good, safe weekend and stuff. And God willing, we will talk to you again on Monday.
Yes.
And we will see you later.
Bye, kids.
Seth Williams loves this land, stands tall and proud. Believes in freedom, speaks his mind out loud. Mentored by Trip, he learned to be tough. Life knocked him down, but he got back up. Lost a leg, but he's still strong and true. Chasing dreams under skies of red, white, and blue. Voting for Trump, he shouts it clear. WTAM tried to bring him down, but he's still here. In the heart of America, Seth takes a stand. Against the tides, he defends our land. Liberals call him crazy, but he don't care. He's got the spirit of an eagle, soaring high in the air. Hates LeBron James, won't wear that crown. Prefers hard work and blue jeans in this town. Radio waves try to shut him up, but Seth keeps singing, filling that cup. From the small town streets to the mountain high, Seth sees the flag waving, reaching for the sky. He keeps on fighting with a rebel yell, for every fallen soldier and the stories they tell. In the heart of America, Seth takes a stand. Against the tides, he defends our land. Liberals call him crazy, but he don't care. He's got the spirit of an eagle, soaring high in the air. From the small town streets to the mountain high, Seth sees the flag waving, reaching for the sky. He keeps on fighting with a rebel yell, for every fallen soldier and the stories they tell. In the heart of America, Seth takes a stand. Against the tides, he defends our land. Liberals call him crazy, but he don't care. He's got the spirit of an eagle, soaring high